The topic that we are going to discuss now is pelagic birds on Karnataka's coast. So, what are these pelagic birds? Okay, and why are they found in Karnataka's coast, and what is their situation, and what are all the different adaptations made by these pelagic birds? All these details will be seen. So, pelagic birds on Karnataka's coast. 180 bird watchers from across India documented rare pelagic birds off the Karnataka's coast in 2023, the previous year. Okay, so significant sightings of these birds include sooty shearwater, brown squaw, brown booby, streaked shearwater, and masked booby. These are examples of the pelagic birds which are found off Karnataka's coast. And the bird watchers found that the density of the pelagic birds has come down, okay, from the previous year, from the last year, that is 2022, and this is because of declining fish stocks near the coast. Okay, this they have found. Now we have to understand what pelagic birds are. We are talking a lot about pelagic birds, but what are pelagic birds? Let us understand that. Pelagic birds are bird species that spend a significant portion of their lives on open ocean. Open ocean is the key term here. Okay, so they spend a significant portion of their lives on the open ocean, which is far from land. Okay, so these birds are specifically adapted to life in the marine environment. And then the term pelagic is derived from the Greek word pelagos. What is pelagos? Pelagos means open sea. Okay, so they are thriving in the open sea, which is far from land. Okay, so this is one best example of pelagic bird. And what are all the different adaptations made by pelagic bird? They are living in a different environment. Okay, they must be adapted to a different situation. So let us see what are all the adaptations made by these pelagic birds. One is distinctive wing adaptation. So these pelagic birds have exceptionally long and thin wings, okay, which allow them to fly effortlessly for long periods without any rest. So they have long and thin wing. This is one adaptation, and the best example here are albatross, frigate birds, fulmars, petrels, and shearwaters. Okay. Next, salt adaptation mechanism. They are going to be in a salty area. Okay, they are exposed to salt. Okay, so they have certain salt adaptation mechanisms. So many pelagic birds have special salt glands, okay, to digest salt. Okay, so this allows them to drink salt water and discard extra salt accidentally ingested in their oceanic prey. Okay, so they can drink salt water and the extra salt is digested by them because of this salt adaptation mechanism. Next, they have a unique feeding strategy. What is that? Some pelagic seabirds have one astounding way of acquiring food. That is a technique called as kleptoparasitism. So what is this kleptoparasitism? It involves an act of robbing smaller species of their prey. Okay, so they rob smaller species of their prey. This is one kind of parasitism. They are dependent on the smaller species for food. Okay, so kleptoparasitism, it is one adaptation made by, or one strategy adopted by pelagic birds. So they will be having long and thin wings, and then this is best example of kleptoparasitism. This bird is hunting for its food. Okay, after this bird gets its food, this bird, the bigger one, is snatching or stealing the food from the smaller bird. Okay, so this is how kleptoparasitism works. So this bird is dependent on this bird. That is why it is parasitism. Okay. Next, what other adaptations? Limited land interaction. Okay, so except for breeding, which they do on isolated islands for protection, the birds rarely approach land. So they have limited land interaction, and they are found thousands of miles offshore, but they can be blown onto land during high winds and storms. So they come to land only during high winds and storms, and Some birds like albatross may spend years at sea before returning to land for reproduction. Okay, so only for reproduction they come to land. Rest of the time they spend even years and years in the sea, okay, in the open sea. Next, they have a social behavior. What is the social behavior here? So most seabirds form colonies. So they live as colonies and they migrate annually, and they are monogamous. What is monogamous? Mating one partner for lifetime, that is monogamy. Okay, next there are threats which are faced by these pelagic birds. What are all the threats? Most of the threats are human induced activities like oil spill, interaction with fishing operation, exposure to pollutants, the marine pollutants, disturbance from human presence or activities, and the destruction of their natural habitat. Okay, because of many construction activities, oil extraction activities which is happening offshore and other things. Okay, next is what is their lifespan when compared to other wild birds. Okay, seabirds generally have a longer life expectancy compared to other wild birds, with many living an average of 50 years. So these are all the different adaptations and different characteristics